Welcome to Warrior Wisdom Wednesday on Coffee with Alain. I hope your week is going well. I'm going to share a little bit from Bow to Life, 365 Secrets from the Martial Arts for Daily Life by Joseph Cardillo. And share a little lesson from here. I could actually share one every day all year, right? 365, but that's what we're going to share today. Before that, give you a little update. I talked about yesterday, I was going to the physical therapist, did go to the physical therapist. She was able to experience this tendon popping stuff that I was going on and telling her about, and she didn't know what to do. And I'm going back to the surgeon next week. We'll see what the surgeon says about that. I mean, pretty much there's a dull ache all the time. I mean, I haven't not been in pain since the injury in April, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's just this dull ache and you just deal with it. But boy, when those tendons pop, that wakes you up, and it does it at weird times. I mean, I could be texting and all of a sudden, almost drop the phone. So that's got to go back to the surgeon and see what they're going to do there. And then after that, took my wife into the procedure. The doctor said everything went well. They had to remove a tooth, do bone grafting, created a plate and stuff that she can wear, a thing that she can wear so it doesn't look like the big gap in her mouth, which she has right now. So they actually take the original tooth and the thing so she can wear that. And cosmetically, it's hard to tell something was done if she has that in. And so they got all of that done. She's resting and on pain meds. He has to be very careful with everything. You can't bite or anything with that fake tooth in there. That's just for cosmetics. So she has to be very careful eating and doing things. Go back next week. Then have to wait a few months for all that bone grafting to heal and put an implant in, and then get a tooth made that will go on the implant. And it's going to be months. And we're still dealing with the other implant that she had to do. And again, that chemotherapy and radiation and the drugs she's on, it's weakened bone and different stuff. And so she had the other implant done, and it was ready to have the tooth. And she has an appointment this month to go get the tooth put on the back one. And then all of a sudden this has happened to the front one too. So she's going to be dealing with both of those this year. So it just what we got to deal with. I mean, it's a lot of pain and time and money because, I read a good article that sort of explained it. Dental insurance is not insurance. I mean, insurance, y'all pay and something bad happens, you're covered. Dental insurance isn't like that. Dental insurance, how this article explained it, and it made perfect sense, is you are prepaying for your maintenance because that's all dental insurance covers. We thought, okay, we waited to put that back tooth on until this month so we could get a little bit of it paid for by this year's insurance. Well, we used that up Monday and yesterday. So we've already exhausted her dental insurance for those 2 days, and we still got a ton left to go for the year. Both those teeth, the implant, and everything. I mean, dental insurance isn't really insurance. It's prepaying for your maintenance visits because that's about all it covers for most of these kind of plans. So that made sense when I read that article, and that's what we've done. So we've already exhausted her full year of dental benefits in 2 visits this week. And we still got a ton more expenses to go. She's got a lot of pain to go through and procedures. So it looks like 26 is going to be continued from our 24, 25 with all these different medical and different things going on. My wrist, her mouth, good stuff. Anyway, that's the update. Let's get on to some warrior wisdom. Great book, Bow to Life, 365 Secrets from the Martial Arts for Daily Life by Joseph Cardillo. And because of all this stuff hitting us right now, this was relevant to me, might be relevant to you. Know what you can sustain. Part of self-discovery is learning just how much of a strike you can withstand. Muay Thai practitioners, for example, train in sustaining sideline kicks. Then they invite these as part of their fighting strategy. By taking the kick, they are able to knock opponents off balance and gain the offensive. Knowing how well you can process certain pain is important in daily life as well. A friend of mine recently endured a specific elective surgery for a second time. Apparently, there are no permanent guarantees to the procedure. The surgery is rough and requires physical therapy. However, she explains, even if it is temporary, she can continue playing a sport she loves until the next time. What's important, she says, is that she already knows she can get through it. Sometimes, in order to reach your goals, there is no way to avoid pain. Knowing how much pain you can endure and training to take even more when necessary will help you get through. That was just a relevant lesson for me right now and my wife. We've both been going through pain and figuring out what we can sustain, and it keeps coming, and we're keep driving on and sustaining. And that's just a good lesson maybe for you too. Know how much you can take. And to know how much you can take, you got to take some. And then you can drive through and get through even more. So that's sort of little lesson I wanted to share today. I know it was relevant for me this morning and thought might be relevant to you. Want to say good morning to some people. Thad is here and said good morning. Good morning, Thad. Appreciate you being here. Jay and Vicky are here and said good morning. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you saying hello. Hope you're doing well. Dixon's here. Good morning, Dixon. Appreciate you being here. Dixon said, Physicians Mutual is supposedly pretty good dental insurance, so be sure to check that out. Well, the problem, Dixon, is the wife's insurance comes from her job. I have none whatsoever. I'm not insured dentally because, again, the dental insurance, they just pay a small amount every year. I don't know if particularly this one, but most dental plans, maybe this one's an exception because the doctor's office said, yeah, they don't pay. You know, you pretty much you get back what you put in. You're sort of prepaying for what they do. And so it's not really insurance. Like if something catastrophic happens where you need a whole, tons of work done, it doesn't pay. So yeah, it is what it is. The whole healthcare and insurance of this country is such a mess, but we won't get into that today. It's why people go to other countries to get procedures done. We could actually fly to Korea and say, if we had the time and didn't have to work, could fly to Korea, get things done, and fly back and be cheaper than what we did here. And we've actually done that for some procedures, gone over to Korea, had it done, and come home. And it was cheaper to pay for the air flight, get it done over there, and come home. Just like people here in Montana go up to Canada and get stuff done and come back because it's cheaper. So my neighbor used to go to Mexico to get insulin because it was cheaper to go to Mexico and get insulin than you could get it here in the States. We got a problem, but don't get me off on that tangent. I could talk all day on the mess we have. Jay and Vicky said, wow, Vicky has some of the same kind dental care. Yeah, I know, Vicky, you've gone through some stuff too. So I hope it's getting better for you and that, you're doing better too. Dixon said, good luck with your wrist ordeal as well. Yeah, thank you, Dixon. I go to the surgeon again next week and we'll see what he says and does. It's coming up. It'll be a year here pretty soon that I've been dealing with it, and we'll see. And it's going to be a lot longer. So that's why I read the passage on know what you can sustain. So I guess we're just continuing to find out, and it's good for you too. You got it. You got to take a punch once in a while to know what you can deal with and keep on going. Some of us get punched more than others. Martial artists, we've dealt with it. I mean, I've been punched more times than I can remember. And Dixon, you probably have too, being a martial artist. I mean, it's just part of life. And we just got to keep driving on. So hopefully this was a little bit beneficial for you this morning. Good book, About a Life. You know, if you're a martial artist, you want to apply different strategies to your daily life, you know, this is a good little book. Everybody, make it a wisdom-filled Wednesday. We'll be back to see you tomorrow.